Welcome to Ask the Expert, an award-winning daily series from 8:30 to 9 to help small businesses. Now, if you have any questions, please ask them in the comments of the live feed. And if you need any more advice, join the official Intuit QuickBooks SMB community group on Facebook. Accountants and business experts are on hand 24/7. During the live session, we'll be running a poll, so please do engage with it and I'll reveal the result at the end. And make sure you're registered for the QuickBooks free annual conference, QuickBooks Connect. Look out for the link in the chat. It's taking place virtually on the 9th and 10th of March. The event brings entrepreneurs, small business owners and accountants together to grow, learn and connect. So my name's Anne-Marrie Martin and I'm the franchisor and founder of a company called Diddi Dance. So we run toddler dance classes. The company's been going 18 years. It's franchised across the UK. And during the pandemic, we actually launched a channel on TikTok. So today I'm going to talk about leveraging social media trends for your business. Now, I'm not a marketing expert, but what I've learned through being the business owner, I thought we could talk about today. So obviously, since joining TikTok, we've seen the power of joining in with trends. So as a visual brand, it's something that going onto a video platform has allowed us to really tap into that. So what I've learned can actually be applied to other social media platforms and all different business types as well. So what I would say is if you are thinking of exploring a new platform, it's something that you really need to spend a lot of time on. I was watching a video from one of the top experts, Gary Vee, and he says exactly the same thing. You've really got to spend time on that platform to make sure you learn and absorb as much as you can so that you really get to know how that platform works, so that when you do start creating the content out there, you're really making sure it's in a line with the viewers and what that audience is looking for, what seems to be trending, what seems to be going viral. And that way you can really start to see what sort of content you need to make, things that are engaging and capturing in the first 3 seconds, for example. So spending that time on there is a really big tip. Don't go onto a platform blind and just start reposting videos you might have already got, because it doesn't always work on different platforms. Now, thinking about trends, you do want to be able to move at pace. So whether you're the business owner and you have full control on those decisions, great. But if not, then, and you have people that you need to check in with, the thing about trends is you do need to make sure that you can move with pace. Make sure that sign-off process is as quick as possible. You want to be part of that trend and not too late or playing catch up. And that is the thing about trends. Sometimes they can be around for days, sometimes weeks, but sometimes it can be really, really quick. So make sure that you have that ability to jump on it as quickly as you can. Now, when we talk about trends, you do need to think about what is relevant for your business. You don't have to jump on every trend. So again, if we take it back to TikTok, there are so many. I mean, for us, the dance trends are relevant because we teach dance. And so I try and use some of the dance trends to give the credibility of me as a qualified dance teacher. But sometimes some of the dancers may not be suitable for the style of dance that I teach or the age range that I teach. There might be a funny meme or there might be a viral hashtag that actually bears no relevance to your business whatsoever. So make sure you're selective. And actually, all the content you create shouldn't just be trend. You should be delivering education, delivering content of information as well. So don't just make it all trend-based. Make sure that any platform you're going on has a nice varied style of everything that you can showcase in your business. Figure out which trends are right for your brand. You don't have to be on every social media platform either. So be selective on which platform might work for you. And bringing it back to TikTok, again, it is a large platform now. There are billions of users on there. The age range on there now is increased considerably. It isn't now the kids app that it used to be. And some of the big brands are using that platform. But again, if it would be a brand new platform for you, take that time to make sure you can see what is going on the platform and which trends you can select to do. So there's a lot of time spent watching things as well. And it's not about just replicating that trend as a whole, whether it's a video, whether it's a sound, whether it is the dance, whether it's a meme. It's about putting your own spin on it, because the thing about a trend is that everybody jumps on it and it's repetitive. So if it's a funny video trend and the angle is this, then once people have seen 50, 100 of exactly the same replicated content, they will switch off to it. So make sure, if it's a trending sound, for example, make sure you're putting your spin on it so it's relevant to your business. So I might see a funny trend on TikTok again, and it's about a little joke between a husband and wife. Well, that's not going to be relevant for my business. So I would see if that trend would fit between, say, teacher and toddler or teacher and parent. So always see what twist you can make on it, so that it is relevant to your business, because you want to be reaching a relevant audience. So I wouldn't jump on a trend that was aimed at the teenagers, because that's not my target market. But if I can twist that so that it spin that so that it's more relevant to parents, then that is how I would do it. So always make sure it is relevant. And I think, again, keeping on that topic, it's about authenticity as well. You've got to be authentic in delivering that content. People can see through you. They can tell if you're not. So, but when you are authentic and it's completely relevant to your brand and it feels authentic when you're delivering it, then your customers and that audience will relate to you. They will get to know you better, get to know your business, and they will trust you in your business as well. So that's definitely worth remembering. Now, searching for that viral video or that trend that you think it's going to accelerate your platform, viral doesn't always equal success. When something goes viral and you get 1 million views or whatever it is, just remember it's only a small percentage of those people that are actually maybe relevant to your audience. Of course, the spin you put on it, the angle that you go to, the audience that you try and connect with, then that is really good to target your audience. But when something goes viral, and sometimes by chance, then it is going to go out to the masses. So a small percentage of that audience may engage with your business. It might not translate into sales. So really, I think the key is don't aim for that one big viral video and try and get millions of views when a large percentage, it may not then re-engage with your business. But try and create lots of regular, relevant and consistent content. And if one of those then goes viral, then it's all good. But yeah, going viral doesn't necessarily result in success for your business. Now, another thing is you don't always have to do it on your own channels. You don't always have to create your own channel and pages and post on there. You could actually work with influencers. So for some businesses, it might feel more authentic to actually leverage other creators to post content for you. Now, before you do this, you will need to have a budget, and you will have to have a very clear creative process and structure that you want them to deliver. But some brands might not have somebody that they feel on the team, or you as a business owner might not feel comfortable delivering content to camera yourself, but you want to get that message out there. And what influencers lie within your business realm that are in line with your ethics and messaging and your branding that you want to get across, and can you deliver clear creative content to them for them to deliver them? Now, this comes back to the age-old time versus money. Everything in marketing is always going to be down to that. So if you do have the time and you can build your channels yourself and build it organically, grow those audiences, tap into the trends, it will produce a far more authentic relationship with your customers. They want to know, people buy from people and they want to trust the brands. If you can show yourself as a business owner, they get to know you, they get to know the passion and the ethos around your brand. Obviously, if your company's a little bit bigger and as a business owner, that isn't what you want to do, then you can think about spending the money for others to talk about that. So it's always a weighing up balance, but you can learn a lot through influencer marketing. But again, you have to have a budget. So time versus money is always the clear thing to have. So we are going to move on to some questions. I hope those tips helped a little bit. So let's see what people are chatting about and asking. Here we go. We've got Carol on Instagram. I've just started marketing my business on Instagram and have no idea how hashtags work. Do I add them in the copy or in a comment? How many am I meant to use? Why are my posts still not showing up when I use them? Please help. Oh, now, as I disclaimer at the beginning, not a marketing expert, but I always use, and each platform has its own tips on it. So what I've heard on Instagram is you can use up to 30 hashtags, but I think the algorithm has slightly changed in the past, maybe 6 months. And I think where Instagram has made it very known now, it's just not just a posting image platform. It is very much video based. They're pushing the reels or even the longer content on video as well. That I think they've also mentioned about bringing the number of hashtags down. So you put them in the text with your video. I've not heard that putting them in the comments afterwards is a successful route. I may be wrong. So I think on Instagram it used to be up to 30, but I think the ideal is anywhere between 5 and 10 now. I may stand corrected, but I think that is why. And I think it's the key on any social media platform is it's social. You have to have the time to engage properly. It's not about posting and ghosting. So don't focus too much on, I've created a post, I've put these many hashtags in, it's gone out there. Why is nobody engaging with it? It's a two-way street. You need to be engaging with others on the platform. And that's something I've learned on Instagram. Engage with the people that you follow, try and create some relationships, and also maybe follow a few hashtags that are relevant to your business so that relevant content is coming up in your feed so that you can also engage with as well. So try and think of it as a two-way street of creating relationships. Always reply to comments. Always make sure that you are attentive to anybody asking a question, and really make sure you're very sociable on that social media app. So hopefully a couple of those tips might help there. Maisie, Facebook Messenger. As a business, we don't really have a face or a spokesperson to our brand, but we really want to enter TikTok as some of the challenges and trends there fit us. What should we do? Should we use staff members, hire an influencer, try to do it without? I think it will definitely depend on what your brand is. So without knowing what it is, whether it's a service or whether it's a product-based business and what industry you're in, it'd be hard for me to come down on specifics. However, some of the most successful videos I've seen and some product-based businesses don't have a face at all. And it's what's called satisfying content. So, you know, when you see, painters and decorators on there, peeling paint, carpet cleaners, creative businesses, the camera is always just down sort of on the hands and the visual aspect of it. Text to speech is a very good element on TikTok as well. You don't have to use your voice and talk about things. You type it up and click the text to speak, and the automated voice on there can speak for you. Some of those big brands, especially product-based, talk about they use the text to speak for customer conversations, and sometimes they can be a little bit, think of the more ridiculous complaints they might have, but leveraging that to gain customer loyalty and customer respect on that. So I think you don't always have to have that face. I think people like to engage from people. Like I said earlier, people buy from people. They want to know about you as a business owner, but that's potentially more relevant if you're a service-based business. I think if you can very authentically bring your brand values alive on the screen, it doesn't necessarily always have to be a face. But I think that is then where the influencer option might come into play a little bit more if you're sending them products and they can authentically, because again, picking influencers, if somebody talks about fitness all the time and you're going to send them, I don't know, maybe food or toys, they're not going to talk about it authentically. So pick influencers that always talk about, if you're a viral chef, or making sure that you pick the right people, and then they can authentically talk about your products then. So I hope that helped. Zara on Twitter. I think part of the problem for us is actually figuring out what is right for us to take part in. What sort of process do you have in place for assessing this? So again, I'll bring it back to TikTok, because I do actually have 2 social media colleagues in the team that run more of the platforms. So they run the Facebook, they run the Instagram mainly. I have my own business Instagram, and then I mainly focus on our TikTok account. So if I take it from a TikTok perspective, I spend a lot of time on it, like I talked about at the beginning. I will be scrolling through, and TikTok works on a For You page, and you know, a lot of algorithms can work the same as well. The more content that you want to produce, if you are watching that content and liking it, it will keep showing you more of that content. So for me, funny and cute toddlers or interesting parenting funnies, if I'm constantly watching that, then I am creatively thinking all the time, oh, yes, save that video, because that is a sound that I could put my spin on it to use for my business. So Zara, I think what I would do is, yourself or somebody in the team, spend a lot of time on the platform you want to go on. Look at those videos, look at that content to almost just get your creative juices flowing. And I think read up and Google social trends as well. So there are definite trending sounds and videos that are a bit more instant. But for example, social trends at the moment, I was reading an article the other day about how consumers' mindsets have changed since the pandemic. So if you want to come across and engage and try and read the mind of your consumers, try and think about 4 key things that mindset has changed since the pandemic. And I was reading it up. Health. People are very more protective of their health and their family's health. So things that you have done in your business to keep people safe, minimize risk. What can you do about health and well-being? Is that relevant to your brand? Environment and the planet. So seek to, what are you doing in your business, whether it's a product, what recyclable materials are you using, what procedures are you using that is making it more sustainable? Society, what do you promote in your brand values? Kindness, community, relationships. Think about those social trends. That might be a good thing for you to start with, Zara, as to basing creative content and experience. People are definitely living in the moment and making the most of life. The pandemic has definitely taught us that. So maybe think about those 4 key things as a overarching consumer trend of people's mindsets. And that might start creative juices flowing to get you started in that process as well. Christy on Instagram. You talk about being authentic, but I'm extremely camera shy. That said, I'd love to try showing our process on TikTok. We're a small team producing self-care products. Any tips? Great. So I think, like I said earlier, Christy, if you can really nicely show that process without you, so you're filming the camera here and it's just filming the hands, what you're making, how do you package it, what's it called, ASMR, the sounds, you turn the microphone up and any sounds, the crinkling or the smoothing something out, any of those things really resonate with the brain apparently, and people tend to watch and engage with it. So if that's something that would be relevant and authentic to your business, maybe you're just focusing on the process of the products, or maybe it's have you got customer reviews on your self-care products? Can you talk about those? It might be lovely images of the products that you can put that text to speech over the top about customer reviews. So maybe taking yourself out of it and be there whilst you build the confidence. And I think it is hard to be on camera. I trained as a professional dancer. I was used to performing, so it came very naturally to me. But a lot of the franchisees in my network, it's just not something that they were comfortable doing, especially in March 2020 when we all had to take our classes online. Being on camera is a very intimidating thing. But I think Instagram stories is great. You can put yourself out there just for 10, 15 seconds, and you know it's going to disappear after 24 hours. It's a good way of practicing, or just videoing yourself, replaying it a few times, cringing, delete it. Any practice makes better. And I don't say perfect, better. And so I think what you've got to just be is passionate. Maybe you want to talk about why you started the business, what it means to you, why you would want to, why you created self-care products. What is that about? Is it, definitely about some me time, about positive mental health? If you could talk passionately about something, then I think that makes you a lot more relaxed on camera as well, and just practice. Jonah on Twitter, the level of commitment social media takes is not something I can really take on without hiring someone, and I can't afford that. Are there any quick and easy wins you'd recommend? I get it. And I always say you must spend a lot of time on a platform getting to know it. But if you can make that initial time investment, then actually creating some of the content can be really quick. I think we all think creating video content, big, massive setup, and it has to be hours, and there's editing, and there's this, and there's that. The most engaging videos are 15 seconds long. So sometimes I might have gone out, taught my classes, come back, I'm in my diddi dance outfit, put my phone on there. I know I've saved a few videos that I know what I'm going to do with it. Boom, 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 boom. 10 videos done in 10 minutes. So don't always think that it's going to take loads of time creating that content. If you do the preparation, then actually creating it can be really quick. I've always got maybe 30, 40 drafts on my account so that I'm just ready to post them. I post in the morning and I post in an evening. So it doesn't always have to be that time consuming. And also, I know I said earlier about making sure the content is relevant for different platforms, but I do often use the same content that I might do on TikTok and for Instagram Reels, because I've got two different audiences on there. And so a funny video that I've put on TikTok, I might then use that video without the watermarks. I tend to re-record it and put it onto Reels. And I know I'm reaching a different audience, but I know it will still resonate with them. So there are options where you can cross-post certain content as well. So it doesn't always have to be creating brand new content for every single platform. There is sometimes a crossover as well. But I think just keep your content short and snappy. Don't think about long-winded 3-minute videos. Apparently at the moment, the optimal watch time on TikTok is 7 seconds. So if you've got a punchy little thing that's funny or creative in 7 seconds, that's not actually a long time. So a few little bits there. Hope that helped. Andy on Facebook. Our social media channels get a lot of messages from influencers wanting to work with us or receive free products for content. I'm not a tech savvy person and don't want to be giving out free stock left, right and centre, but I can see the benefit in widening our audience even. Where do I even start? Well, if you've got influencers approaching you, bonus. A lot of influencers have agents or marketing companies that they work with. And sometimes that can be a good approach. It's a bit more expensive, but you are getting guarantees then. So if they're with an agent or a marketing company, then they will be able to give you all the metrics on their engagement rate so that right, I'm spending this, but they are guaranteeing me these views or this sort of engagement or this many likes. Influencers that are approaching you, check out their profiles. Are they an authentic fit for your brand? Are their videos engaging? Are they not just about following numbers? It's about actual engagement on their posts. If they've got hundreds and thousands of followers, but their posts are getting a few hundred views and then like 10 comments, then something's different there. And so paying an amount of money that might just get you a few hundred views, is that worth that spend? So people coming to you, brilliant. Go check out their profiles, check out if they're a good fit for your brand, and then discuss with them what you are expecting in return. If you are giving away free product, then you need to specify what your expectation is on that. Do you want one main post and 5 stories? Do you want a weekly post for 4 weeks? Do you want a main post, but then are you going to use an affiliate code that they can use? Sometimes influencers do that instead of a fee if they really truly believe in your product. So they'll do a post. You've set up a code for them that if anybody buys using their code, they receive an affiliate commission on that, and it gives their followers a discount. So is that something that you want to use? But I would just say, check out the influencers and make sure they are truly authentic to your brand. As I said earlier, don't go with a chef if your product is about leggings. Make sure it's relevant. Ewan on Instagram, dance trends wouldn't make sense for us, but I'm keen to explore TikTok as we are a sustainable and eco-friendly brand and want to tap into Gen Z. How should we approach this? First of all, that is the big misconception of TikTok, that it's all about teenagers dancing. Absolutely not. And I get it all the time. Oh, well, it's relevant for you because you dance. TikTok is definitely not, 2 years post-pandemic, about dancing. It is very much, and they've pushed it as a platform, very much about edutainment. So you're educating, but you're entertaining. It is definitely an entertainment platform. People want to be engaged by it, but it is very much about educational content as well. So, you know, some of the big TikTokers that do makeup and hairstyling and fashion, and they are delivering great educational content, and people are so engaged by it. So I think for you, definitely making sure that you are pushing that eco-friendly, the sustainability. It's great for the planet, it's great for the environment. Definitely it's a great platform for you to be in. So depending on what your product is, I think it would be great for you to go onto that platform and use it. But yeah, don't think that TikTok is just about dancing. Some of the trends are funny trends, and businesses can use them really, really well. Right, let's take one last question. Some audiences will resonate more with certain influencers. Sorry, this is Daniela on Twitter. What tips do you have for identifying the audience you want and then the influencers that you like? The key is, who are your consumers? What is it you're selling, and what have your customers in the past looked like? Great. Look at those influencers. What are their followers like? What do they tend to push? What brands do they work with? What products do they talk about? What market are they aiming for? Is it one of the parenting influencers? Therefore, if it isn't a parenting product, are you really going to get the most out of that influencer? Is it one of the reality stars, in which case are you going to market to more of maybe a younger audience? So always think about who that influencer is, who they're generally talking to, and whether that resonates with your brand. Right, let's move on to the poll. Sorry, I hope that helped. So the poll results are in, and we asked you, how often does your business take part in social media trends? So let's see. So we had daily, weekly, monthly, or we don't. 0% of you said daily. That is great. You don't need to be jumping on trends daily. 50% of you said weekly. Good balance. None of you said monthly. And I think weekly is quite a good one. And 50% answered you don't do them at all. Well, I hope that my talk today might have made you think about different trends and how you could use them for your business. Remember, platforms aren't just about teenagers dancing. They're not just about teenagers making funny memes. These trends are things that you can leverage for your business if you can put your spin on it and make it relevant to the audience you want to capture. I think weekly is great. Every 2 weeks can be great. I think as long as you are consistent with your posting, consistent with your content, and you are adding value and education or information alongside the trends, then it's about finding that balance. So I hope that helps. So thank you all for tuning in this morning. If you do want to get in contact with me, any other questions that you want to ask, pick my brains, you can send me an email, info@diddidance.com. That's DIDDI. And follow us on Instagram, or me on Instagram, Original Diddi Dancer. Now, coming up on Ask the Expert tomorrow is accountant Eva Mazrakova from Iris Software Group. So tune in to learn about making tax digital and whether it's a burden or an opportunity for your business. And a reminder that if you need any more advice, join the official Intuit QuickBooks SMB community group on Facebook. Accountants and business experts are on hand 24/7. I've really enjoyed answering your questions this morning. I'm not a marketing expert, but I hope my experience has helped in growing your business and getting creative. And I hope you all have a great day. Thanks again.